Hi, my name is Neal Gandhi. I'm an entrepreneur. I know what it's like to run a business. I'm also passionate about making sure that people are paid the living wage. I'm in London, a fabulous city. A city, though, that is almost impossible to live in on the minimum wage of £6.50 an hour. Certainly it's a bit easier if someone's paid the living wage of £8.80 an hour. Much of the films that have been made and the commentary around the living wage tends to focus on a very negative message about exploitative employers. I want to focus on a more positive message. A message that says simply that paying well is good for business. We're on our way to a coffee shop that does pay the London living wage. We're going to talk to staff, to customers and the owner to understand what impact paying well has had on their business and on their lives. But before that, I spoke to Simon Walker, who's Director General at the Institute of Directors.
100 years ago, Henry Ford doubled the pay that he was paying on his production lines when he was making Model Ts. And it was both because he wanted to retain and keep staff over other automobile manufacturers, and because he wanted them to be able to afford the cars he was making. So there can be quite good reasons for paying what you can afford. What's important is that it's part of a whole mix that keeps businesses going. So the ability to pay them fairly and reasonably is a consideration for people who are running companies.
How long have you had the business?
5 years, opened in August 2009.
And what made you want to pay a living wage?
Being fair and decent to my staff and recognising that it's hard work working in this cafe. I have very high expectations, we have very high standards, and the staff here work very hard. So it's only fair to reward them for that, because if you're not going to pay them a decent wage, that passion will slowly dissipate and go away, and people will start to not care so much. But you need to be able to give people back what they put in.
It makes you realise maybe that your employer appreciates the effort that you go to. You're on your feet all day, you have to deal with customers and yeah, that kind of stuff. You kind of like appreciate it a little bit more, I guess.
Is your life made any easier as a consequence of paying better?
I believe it is, yes, because my head chef has been here for 5 years altogether. My second chef has been here for 4 years. My manager has been here for 3 years. It's never, you don't pay me enough. It's never, you don't look after me. It's never, you know, I'm not happy here.
I love my job, so, you know, why not stay? Staff are always here on time. They're always showing up for work. They're always happy. So everyone works hard because, you know, they earn a good wage. So yeah, I think it's definitely valuable to pay the staff a wage that's over the living wage, definitely.
Recently, through BuzzFeed, there was a huge list that came out, and it was the top 25 coffee shops in the world to see before you die. And 700,000 people have seen this article, and Kaffeine was listed at number 2. But one of the reasons that we're on that list is because of the staff who work here. And it's not just one of the reasons, one of the main reasons, because it's easy to make a good cup of coffee, but it's not that easy to provide great service and get people coming back all the time. And one of the reasons that they provide good service is because we pay them a fair wage and we look after them.
The quality of the product is because the people that they employ are highly trained. These aren't sort of casual staff that are here for a couple of weeks and moving on. The other good thing about this cafe is that you build up a community. You see the same people coming in day after day. I come almost every day, and you see that with a lot of the regulars. And that's down to the chats and the conversations that you have with the members of staff while you're here.
It's not rocket science. If you pay people a pittance, you're not going to get the best from them. So should small businesses have the courage to do it? Absolutely. They should do it in a simple economic way like these guys are doing. Create something amazing. This is the best coffee in London. And I don't say that to plug it, but this is the best coffee in London. They charge me 50% more than Starbucks does. And it's fair enough.
I just don't think you'd be able to create the same business model, the same ambiance, the same level of service if in effect all constituent parts weren't there, and one of those constituent parts is treating your staff fairly, making them want to be there and doing a good job, and that clearly happens at this cafe.
We have major problems in the global economy right now. There is not enough demand in this economy to keep these gears moving. And the great motive force of the global economy has been consumption. Without consumption, going up again as a percentage of global GDP, the world is in a depression and it will continue to stay in a depression. So the only way that consumption rises is if wages go up.
It's a shame that in some industries you work really, really hard and you don't get rewarded for it. Here we work very, very hard. So again, it's just fair that you pay your staff a wage that they can go home and they can actually enjoy themselves and they have some time off.
So I hope you've seen that paying well is good for business. My goal from this film is to have at least 1,000 more people being paid a living wage compared to today. If you're a small business owner, I hope you'll join me in this quest.